C-Bus.
Hey, it's Gary. I wanted to show you a job that we're getting started on, and you can watch the process as we go through. We got quite a bit to do here, but we're going to change basically a natural kind of area into lawn. So let's take a look at what we got. As you can see, me and my crew have already gotten started on this. And what we've got here is this wooded area back here, somewhat wooded, and grass was waist high up here, but it's been mowed down so we could get started. And there's all kinds of debris and stuff. We've moved the fire pit that they had back here already, and we got a pile of logs back there the guys are loading into one of our old dump trailers. And through here, what they want is for this whole area to be grass like they have there. So we're going to make it a nice steady slope, and through here we're going to take out these large pine trees. So we're going to have 4 large pine trees over through here that we're going to take out, and we're going to grind those stumps. Then to even out the surface, we're just going to bring in some fill dirt and level it out. So we're not going to raise this a lot, we're just going to level it with fill dirt, and then we're going to bring in topsoil for the grass seed. And I'll show you through the process, but we've already sort of started on this, and we're taking out the back side of this old fence. They'll have a fencing contractor come back in. As you can see, I'm pulling out the fence post with the tractor, and we've got the mesh fence, wire fence laid in the grass already, pulling out some of the plants so we can utilize those, maybe use them again in a different project. So that's the start of this project, and I'll try to take little video clips here and there. That way you can keep you updated on the process. As you see, we're making some progress now. We've got the last of the trees down, and I thought this would be a good point to show our progress. And we're clearing this one up. This was the largest of the trees. We've got it down. We're cleaning it up right now. As for the rest, we've got the fence out all the way across, and all the bushes, most of the plants. We've limbed up some of the trees that are on site that we're also going to take up, and now we're loading some debris. So we're looking now. As you can see, there's a lot of light coming in right now. It's opening up pretty well. So we're going to get to it. So next process after we get this cleaned up is going to be grinding these stumps. We've got about 5 or 6 stumps to grind. And of course, this one being the largest. So we're going to grind the stumps, and then we have some other miscellaneous debris, some rocks and things to clean up before we bring in the fill dirt to start leveling everything. Keep watching. So now you can see we're finishing up the stump grinding, and it's starting to come around. We've got the trees pruned up, and you see the stump grinding, we're cleaning out all the chips. Make sure that we don't just rake the chips into the holes. So now we have the area prepped for the fill dirt. And you can see we've opened it up a lot. Limbed up the trees and cleaned everything up. We've sprayed the vegetation. We removed most of the gravel and the pine needles that were in here after we took out those 5 larger pine trees. Then cleaned up all the pine needles and things like that, scraped them off, ground the stumps out that were over there, and now I'm prepped and ready, I guess. Waiting on the hauling contractor to get here to bring me my first load of fill dirt. That way we can even out, you know, there's those large depressions kind of in there, those holes and dips and things. On the camera, I'm sure it's a little bit difficult to see on the camera, but you know, there's some variances in height of at least 6 or 10 inches. So we're going to try to even all that out with some fill dirt before we bring in topsoil. That's what we're looking at. It's coming along. Now we've leveled it out, did the rough grading with fill dirt, and had my crew out here for an hour or so, picking out all the large rocks that were on the surface. But as you can see now, we've got it flattened out and got the rough grade going here pretty good. So I'm going to tweak it a little bit, fill in some low spots with the rest of the topsoil, or not topsoil, but fill dirt that I've got sitting there. And the topsoil is coming today. So it should be here in an hour or so. And at that point, I'm going to start with the topsoil. As you can see, we're making good progress. And my wonderful customers will finally have a backyard that they were hoping to get when this project's done. So I'm going to keep moving on this so I can get it done before the topsoil comes, and then I'll give you another update. So we're getting our first load of topsoil in here, and I'm excited to get this smoothed out. Got the rough grade done. You see now it's looking pretty flat. And I think the customer is going to be pretty happy with that. So we'll get some topsoil down so we can start seeding. End of the day now, and we've got the topsoil moved in place and smoothed out real nice. So I might come back and add just a tiny bit more topsoil, some touch-up areas, but looks like our next step here is going to be do some seeding. So the grade's going pretty well, I guess. It's a nice even slope, consistent with the property, and it's nice and level. And I think that they're going to end up with a pretty nice backyard when we're done. So I'm going to wrap it up for today. Be back tomorrow, give you a couple more updates. Well, we got all the seeding done at the property yesterday, finished up around 4. I am back here today because, well, overnight there was only a 20% chance of some pop-up showers, and we ended up getting a huge, and I mean huge, storm. This thing was thunder and lightning like crazy, and it dumped about 3 inches or better of rain in, say, about 4 hours. So needless to say, I'm back here to check on it. It's finally cleared up here this morning, and I'm going to take a look at the property and see what kind of, I don't know, what kind of results we have here, because we didn't put a straw blanket on yet, or straw in general. I didn't know if I was going to in this project. I mean, it is on a slight slope, slight grade, but it wasn't drastic. But that loose powdery topsoil, you can see behind me here there's some standing water and whatnot from the storm. This is just an area we used some rough fill dirt, and we filled in some ruts from the trucks. And now I'm concerned, so we're going to get back here and take a look at this and see how it is. Oh my. Well, here's what I'm seeing. Let's take a look for yourself. Well, it's really soft, but I am amazed that we don't have a lot of erosion. And wow, am I relieved, because I got to tell you, I couldn't even sleep last night when I heard that storm. I had to get up, and I was really worried that we were going to have to come back and basically start the whole topsoil and seeding process again here. And yes, it settled a lot, which is expected. I mean, the rain was really pounding, so we got areas I kind of expected. You start to see some of the little rocks come up through the surface where the topsoil has been beaten down and kind of settled into the fill dirt. All those little pockets of air are starting to come out already. And you know, overall, I am really pleasantly surprised here. I thought there would be at least some trails of erosion. Yeah, let's take a look over here. I saw one spot, and I'll show you what I mean here, or what I expected to see a little more of. Let's just walk around this other side real quick. You can still see it's pretty flat and level. And I was looking for areas where the topsoil eroded and washed any of the seed or anything. Now, when we seeded, we put a dual layer of seed, and what I mean by that is we put seed down on top. We put a little bit of topsoil down, then we seeded it, and then we put about another inch or so of topsoil on top of that seed, and then we came back with our seeder that actually works the seed into the soil at the same time. So the seed isn't just sitting on top. The seed is underneath the topsoil about an inch. It's also blended in to the topsoil on the top. So, you know, in a situation like this, rain doesn't just directly wash the seed off. The only way the seed's going to go anywhere really is if the soil erodes. So it's mushy through here, really mushy as to be expected. Ooh, leaving some deep footprints here, kind of nasty. But as we get through, there's one spot I see right over here, and this is what I expected a lot of the whole place to look like, unfortunately. But as you see right there, there's an erosion mark. You can see that right up through this area, there's been a wash of about an inch or so of the topsoil out. It washes down through here. You can see where it washes, and then I usually come down to this point and I try to look in here to see if we have a lot of seed piled up in here, and there's some excess topsoil that's washed down here. I'm sure there's seed in it. And we look over here and we can see a little bit of seed right there where it washed down. But considering, you know, there's hundreds of pounds of seed in here, that's not that much seed, and there's not that much topsoil down through here. So I think probably, you know, sort of just right up sort of through this area, it washed a little bit down through here and probably puddled where I'm at. We'll probably do a little bit of repair there, and we'll continue the upkeep process on this and see how it comes in. What we'll find sometimes if this situation happens is that, you know, there'll be a little less seed growth in this area. There's no way we could get in here for days anyway to do any sort of repair, additional seeding, topsoil. It's just going to be a mushy mess. So by the time we can get in here, we'll almost see where some of the seed is starting to germinate at, and we'll be able to see if we're getting an even coverage of that. Luckily, we didn't have a whole lot of wash, so we could either just come in with a slice seeder or something like that, touch that up, or maybe bring in a little bit of topsoil to repair that area where I'm expecting it washed through here, and got a little of the seed out. What I find is down on this back edge sometimes is you'll see that if you do have a wash situation, you'll have a real dense germination right when the seed starts to come up, right at the bottom side where the seed's washed. But I don't expect that. We're going to keep an eye on that. Hopefully it starts to germinate nice and even throughout the process. Let's go take a look at the top. From the top side, it's looking pretty good also. Everything looks as planned, and I just talked to the customer. They were really surprised because before, you know, with the low spots, they had ponding water in certain areas, like over here where it was really low. The water would just hang in there. Over between the trees, the water would hang in there. So, you know, even though they don't have any grass right now, they noticed right away that it's draining off. Even without any grass on here, they're not going to have any water or drainage issues. So man, I am relieved, and might have to go to bed early, get some sleep tonight. But a little relieved. I think everything's going pretty well. I would say just very minimal touch-up might need to be done. So we'll get out here. When it dries up a little bit tomorrow, do a final sort of cleanup on the place, and do a little landscape task that they got for me on the side of the house. But other than that, we're about ready to get out of here and start watching the grass grow. So we got all finished up here. We made it. We got our stuff cleaned up, and we've got it leveled out. The rain's doing its job. So like I said, we got lucky there with the rain, and now we've got our stuff cleaned up, and we are headed out of here. We left a few fire bricks right back there for them that we disassembled from the old fire pit. They wanted to keep those. Other than that, we're ready to roll, and I'm going to try to stop back here in a few weeks, show you some progress, and then we'll see how it comes in. Hopefully I can wrap up the video with the good results part of it. So I'm rolling back up to the seating job. It's the first week in November, and I'm going to take one last look to see what the progress looks like for the end of the year. If you want to see what it looks like, keep watching. I'll follow up on my next video, and I'll put a link to it right up here.